Hello and welcome to this webinar about the MCO filter. My name is Jana Neugebauer, and in the next few minutes I would like to show you how you can create a filter in the MCO mod of Schücal. So here in Schücal, I'm already in the MCO mode of Schücal, and I'm on a profile where I have a hole with a diameter of 3.5. In the tree structure, you can see my hole, and below you see it's 3.5 millimeters. So in our CNC machines, we have most of the time only a drill with a diameter of 3.2. That's the reason why I would like to show you how we can create a filter for changing the small diameters to 3.2. That we don't have to do it manually at any single hole. It's only one example for creating an MCO filter, so there are many scenarios where you can work with it. For creating a filter, you have here, when you're at the icon Edit, you find at the end the filter. At the filter, you have two options, Settings and Check. When you want to create a new one, we have to go at first to the Settings. At the settings, now everything is empty because the filter that we will create right now will be my first one. For creating a new one, we have here the icon New. When we click on it, we get directly the option to give the name and the description for the filter. At the filter name, at the description, it's always very important that you and your colleagues know what's behind the filter. So my name of the filter will be Change Diameters to Small Holes to Available Tool. And in my description, I will type in what is my available tool in the machine. So at mine, it's a 3.2 millimeters drill. With this information, everybody knows what's behind the filter, so that we want to change the smaller holes to a diameter of 3.2. And that is very important. After these two names, we can write our first rule. The first rule needs a name as well. So before, I showed you that we have a 3.5 millimeters hole. So when you take a look at the left side, where my mouse is right now, you see the hole of 3.5 millimeters. And at the properties, you can see the diameter of 3.5. And that is a hole that we want to change in my example. So my name is 3.5 millimeters to 3.2 millimeters. When we click now Enter, our rule 1 get all the options. So here we can define our filter rule number 1. The first option that we have is the action. When we open this small arrow, you see we have 3 different options. We can delete our 3.5 millimeters drill, change the 3.5 millimeters drill, or copy and change. We want to change the diameter from 3.5 to 3.2, so we choose Change. Below the action is directly the search key. At the search key, we can define a lot of options for what we want to search. But a big rule is for a filter, as much as you need is the best one. So when you don't need to have it too specific, then it's better when you give not so many informations, only the information that you need. So in our case, we only want to change a hole from 3.5 to 3.2 in every element at every profile, so at any time, that we never have to change it at the machine. So we have to give only the information that we want to search for a hole with a diameter of 3.5. I will show you now the option that you have, and for different filters, you can use these options. But in our filter, we only need the last point, the processing, but I will show you. So at the first type, we can search for the design type. So window, doors, aluminiums, or facades. Then we can type in the profile description. Here it's very important when you type it in. So for example, outer frame, then always have a star in front of the name and behind the name. Otherwise, it's not working. Below propose, we have here a 3-dot button. And when you open it, you see you have here different types of profiles. As a standard, all checkboxes have a tick in. When you go to description, all the checkboxes are empty, and you can choose the profile that you want. We want to search at every profile, so I will change it back that in every checkbox is a tick and press OK. Now we are at the option processing. That is in our filter very interesting for us. So when I go to the 3-dot bottom, I find first the article number. At the article number, I can give the article number of the fitting, for example, here from the cleat or something. It's also important that a star is in front and behind the article number. At the name, I can type in the name of the fitting. And at the type, I have some options of some elements and some fittings. But at my filter right now is the base unit very important because I can choose here for some base unit. And now I want to search for a hole. When I choose a hole at the properties, I find the depth and the diameter. I want to search for a hole with a diameter of 3.5, so I type it in. Very important, please work always with the point and never times with the comma, because with the comma it doesn't work. Below the properties, you also find the profile coordinate system, so you can say only search in the area, in the X area from 2, in the Y area from 2, or in the Z area from 2. We don't need it right now, so I can press OK. Now our search key is finished, and the next step is the modification code. At the end of the modification code, we find a 3-dot button again, so I can open it. When we open the modification code, we see we have lots of options. But at the base unit is still the hole. And in this filter, I want to change the diameter of the hole from 3.5 to 3.2. So here at the properties of the diameter, I need to type in 3.2. If you want to change any other thing, you can do it here because this is the modification code. And here you have the option to change the process that you defined before in the search key. After you press OK, you see right now in rule number 1, our action is changed. In the search key, we search for a base unit. It's our hole with a diameter of 3.5. And in the modification code, we see we want to change this hole to a diameter of 3.2. So now my rule number 1 is finished. Now you have the option to create a second rule. So here you find rule number 2, and you can type in here name and create another rule, or you have the option to copy your first rule. So you can click on your rule number 1, and then you can click on the icon at the top, copy rule. Now you have a second rule, and there you only need to modify the settings. That's very helpful when your rule number 2 is nearly the same than rule number 1. So for example, when you want to search for a diameter of 3.0 and change this hole to 3.2, you can change the name, 3.0, and the search key, not anymore 3.5, it's in 3.0. Then you can press OK. Then you have two rules in one filter, so they're nearly the same, and with copy the rule, you can create very easy and very fast a second rule. You can create as many rules as you want in your filter, and when you finish, you can press OK. And you see now at item-specific filters is the filter 001 change diameter of smaller holes to available to in machine 3.2 millimeters drill. It means that this filter is right now only available in this item because it's on item-specific filters. Now I would like to check the filter if the filter function is working. For this, I have to click OK. And if you remember before, close to settings, we have check. With this tick, you can check your filter. So when I click on it, takes a few seconds. It's getting green right now, and I see the visualizing of my filter is active. And when I take a look right now in the tree structure, behind my hole is a small exclamation mark, and the diameter is 3.2 right now. So the filter is working. After I check the filter, I click again to check, then the diameter, it's 3.5 again. But that's a very important information. Check is only for visualizing the filter settings and not for activate the filter. Here in Chucall, you see always the catalog diameter, so the original 3.5. But if your filter is active in your item, then at the machine, this hole will be 3.2 because the filter will be getting active in the MCO data for the CNC machine. Now check is black again, and I will click on settings again because I want to explain you something else. Our filter is right now only on the item-specific filter side. So it means it's only available in this single item. But it would be very helpful if we can work with this filter in every single item that we create in Chucall. So if you want it, you can bring this filter from the right side to the left side, to the standard filters. That you can do when you go to the small arrow, and then the filter is moving to the other side. Now you can grab this filter in every single item that you created before and that you will create in the future. It's a very good thing. And then you can press OK. We have also the option to activate the filter for every single item that you will create in the future. For this, we have to move to General at the top. There we will find at the master data here the setting MCO filter. When I click on it, it looks like before in the items. But we have here two different fields. On the left side is the standard filters, and on the right side, it means standard filters for item default. So when the filter is on the left side, you can grab this filter in every single item, but it's not a default. When you bring the filter from the left side to the right side, the filter is on every single item that you created new active. For some filters, it's a very, very good settings, but please always be careful with this function. Please only put filters on the right side to the standard filters for the item default, where you will be sure that you want to change it at every single item. Otherwise, put the filters on the left side, on the standard filters, and you can bring it manually in the item to the right side. For this filter that we created before, so change diameters of smaller holes to available to, it will be a very good function. Because when I bring it to the right side, it's automatically at every single item active. And I've never have to think about it. And that's not a dangerous thing, because we can work with a different screw there. So the difference is not so much from 3.5 to 3.2 or from 3.0 to 3.2. So always be careful when you work with this function. Only when you be sure that you can set it as like a default, you can bring it to this side. If you're not completely sure, put it at the standard filters and you can choose it in the icon. And last but not least, in this checkbox, it's very important that the tick is in, because this tick activates that the filter is in the ENC data that you bring to the CNC machine. I hope this video was interesting for you and it helps you to create some filters by your own. If you have any questions, you can call us anytime. Thank you for your attention and bye-bye.